right, so hello everyone. My name is Joe Gacoscos, and I want to welcome everyone to this mini lecture. It's the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. And if you're just joining, go ahead and just say hi in the comments, and I will give you a shout out. True one only. Hi, good to see you. Even though I know your real name. Great to see you. Melissa, hi. Tammy, hi, good to see you. Great seeing you guys. And if you do me a favor, just go ahead and hit like or love on the just hit the like or love button just so we could send some signals out to Facebook, and just shows up on people's feeds this way. And then we'll get started here in just a moment. I see the this number that keeps counting upwards on the corner there. Tammy, hi, great to see you. Melanie, hi, Melanie, good evening. Hi, good to see you. And Melanie, my apologies for the confusion on the dates. I literally forgot to update the date on my sales page. And I'm in the middle as well of switching to a new student portal. So yeah, so somewhere in the transition, you got lost in the shuffle there. So my apologies, but we got that straight. So yeah, you be on the lookout for your new student account here soon. Stephanie, hi, good to see you. And I'm just seeing the names pop up. I'm going to say hi in the comments, and I could give you a shout out here. No worries, it's great to be here. Great, I'm glad to have you here. It's awesome. All right, so if you're just joining, we're doing the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. And, you know, this came about because, yeah, Takara, this particular lecture, this subject came about because, you know, I'm teaching this 6-day challenge. It's called the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Challenge. And what a lot of people don't know about is that by day 4 of the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Breakthrough Challenge, you actually learn how to activate your third eye, right? And so I figured, you know, why not just go ahead and do a mini lecture here, make it even more obvious that, hey, if you take this 6-day challenge, not only will you learn how to, you know, ground, learn how to move foreign energies out of your space, especially if you're really overwhelmed with energy right now. You also learn psychic protection. And that's just the first 3 days alone. Then by day 4, because you've learned all those basic tools, you're all set up to then learn how to activate your third eye. And then by day 5, you know, once you start seeing images from your third eye, the next step everyone asks is, okay, what does that mean? What does it mean? All right, so I figure why not just go ahead and do a mini lecture on the third eye itself. And then, you know, if you're interested in signing up for the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Challenge, by the end of this lecture, I'm going to go ahead and talk about how you could actually sign up, okay? But before I get in there, I know there's a lot of new people here, so I just want to introduce myself. My name is Joe Gacoscos, and I'm author of this book, Journey of the Awakened Psychic. It's a award-winning book, if I may say so myself. It won the title for Best Psychic Book by Soul and Spirit magazine late last year, actually. So it's like a really proud moment there when that won for Best Psychic Book. I'm also a teacher. I've been teaching about awakening your intuition, about awakening your psychic gifts. I've been teaching about awakening your third eye, clairvoyance, the clairvoyant training program, which I'll touch on here as we go throughout the lecture. And all clairvoyance is clair means clear, and voyance means seeing. So it's clear seeing, right? And how do you activate your clairvoyance? Well, it's all via that third eye, right? So if you're just joining, this whole lecture is going to be about the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye. And so, you know, this lecture is for you if you're someone you want to learn about how to awaken this clairvoyant third eye. And I know for a fact many of you already, you see auras, right? You're already seeing spirit guides, or I know for some of you, you'll get just hits of like, where did that energy come from? Okay. And it's all, and many of you are like, is that my imagination? Am I making that up? How do I know that that's even real? Right? So all these are challenges that many awakening psychics face in the beginning, in particular when it comes to activating your third eye. Okay. And so I'm just kind of reading out in my notes here. For some of you, right? For some of you, you're already waking up to this, starting to see energy, starting to see auras and stuff. But for some of you, you're like, man, I can't see anything, right? I can't see anything. I'm not sure what I'm really trying to look for. And so there's two ends of the spectrum, right? You're either already seeing energy, you're already seeing auras, or you're probably on the opposite end of the spectrum. We're still kind of stuck. You're like wondering, hey, how does this work? Is this really working or not? All right, so in the comments, go ahead and just comment real quick, along with just saying hi, and so I could give you a shout out. Where are you on the spectrum? Are you someone you're already seeing energy, you already see auras, you already see spirit guides, or you just might see colors or shapes, or some people see past life energy already, right? Or are you on the opposite side of the spectrum where like, I'm not sure, I think I see something, not quite confident? So go ahead and just comment below or in the comments here, and I will go ahead and see what people have to say here. All right. So anyway, while I'm waiting, let me just tell you how this particular lecture will go, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and just talk about the 3 keys, just share with you the 3 keys to unlocking activating your third eye. And then, I'm going to go ahead and just introduce, like, if you want the training on actually awakening your third eye, stay tuned, because I have a special that if you stay tuned, you can take advantage of the special to sign up for this training. All right. Okay, so Taylor Jenkins, couldn't psychic abilities be able to help us? Couldn't they help teach others a truth of us, of how we truly are? Yeah, absolutely. For me, the psychic world is actually more real than the 3D world, right? And so talking about higher truths, talking about accessing spiritual truths that are beyond the rational mind. All right. Yeah, so for sure, Taylor. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started. I think we have a good group here, so I'm just going to get started officially. So when it comes to the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye, the first key is about not thinking. All right, let me say that again. When it comes to activating your psychic third eye, it's not about thinking. Okay, and I know for a fact many people are like just thinking. You're getting these signs. You're getting signs like 333, 777, 1111. All right, so how many of you are getting signs like that? All right, and when you reflect on how that happens, you aren't in a thinking space. Right? You're just going about your day, and all of a sudden you're looking at the clock and it says 333, and you're like, oh wow, look at that, it just came out of nowhere. That's how your psychic abilities are. Okay, a lot of times the signs, the messages, literally they're just come out of nowhere. Okay, and you're not thinking. And it's so funny when I look in the group, right? When I look at the group, and if you're here, you're part of the psychic training for highly sensitive empaths, Starseeds Lightwires group, right? So I look in the group every single day, by the way, and I see your comments, and people are like, oh, I got this sign, I got this weird premonition, or I got this 333, 1111. What does that mean? What does it mean, right? And many times where people get caught is that you get caught in thinking about it. Now, to illustrate this point a little further, y'all know who Albert Einstein is, right? Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein has this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes. And he says, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. Okay, we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. All right, so let me repeat that. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift. All right, so that's the intuitive mind, a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant, meaning the rational mind, the thinking mind, should be the servant, while the intuitive mind should be more the gift. And then he continues to say, we have created a society that honors the servant, meaning this rational mind, and has forgotten the gift, meaning the intuitive mind. All right, so, in society today, how intellectual you are, how smart you are, how well you could think, a lot of that's more valued, isn't it? Right? Get the college degree. Even I have a master's degree myself. I have a master's degree in quality systems. So if y'all know about like Lean Six Sigma, I actually used to work for a medical manufacturing plant, right? And I had to use a lot of my brain power for that. But what I found is, you can actually get a whole lot more answers just from your intuition alone, right? But I'll tell you, the more you start thinking about it, thinking, then the less psychic you're going to be, okay? So how many of you are kind of in that trap? You're thinking about it, thinking. Go ahead and comment. Let me see, I just saw some comments come in right now. Melanie says, mostly feelings, the most predominant is that I am blocked from my potential that I should be seeing, right? And yeah, that's actually really common. You think you should be seeing, or should be this way, or should be more further advanced, et cetera. But, where people fall into the trap is that, what if you could just be present to what you do have? And I'll talk more about that here in just a moment. Takara, I have been having vivid dreams lately and I sense different energies now. And actually dreams, right? In a way, dreams is like having an overactive third eye. I'm going to talk about this here in key number 2. But, when you access your mind's eye, that place of imagination, right? That's where a lot of the images will come in. All right. So speaking of, key number 1 is you can't be thinking about this stuff. It's not about thinking, okay? In order to activate your third eye, it's not about thinking. So if it's not about thinking, key number 2 is this. It's that there's a fine line between seeing energy in your mind's eye and your imagination, okay? I'll say that again. There's a fine line between seeing energy in your mind's eye, right? So clairvoyantly, you're receiving this energy and it shows up as pictures, colors, imagery in your mind's eye. And there's a fine line between that and just imagining things, okay? So here's what I mean. The difference between the two is that when you are activating, when you're accessing your third eye, your clairvoyance, it's more about just like allowing for images to show up. Okay, so here you are, let's say you're working with a client and you're doing a reading and they have a question about past life energy, right? And so literally you set up your space, you're more in a quiet space, you're not thinking, you're just allowing for images to come up, right? Actually, just talking about past life, I remember doing this past life reading on one of my former students. And, I kind of just tuned in to what was her past life. And I just remember seeing her like sitting in a rocking chair, right? And it was like an old rocking chair. And I kind of just let the imagery play out a little bit. And I saw her holding a baby, right, in this past life. And then I let the imagery unfold a little bit more. And I noticed the roof of where she was sitting, right? She was sitting on the porch, this rocking chair. The roof was made out of, I don't know, some kind of like, just not modern material, right? I want to say it was like a mix of wood and kind of metal. Anyway, I just kept letting the picture unfold. And I go, why are you just sitting there on this rocking chair, sitting by yourself? And, again, I was just allowing, right? And it turns out she was waiting. She just was waiting. It looked like she was waiting for like her husband to come home in this particular past life. But what stood out in this picture was she was holding this baby, right? She was just rocking back and forth like this, but she didn't look happy. I'm like, oh, what's going on? How come you don't look happy in that past life, right? Turns out, and I didn't even know this, right? She goes, by the way, Joe, in this lifetime, she was actually pregnant. And the thing with past life, this is just kind of a side note, and I cover this in my clairvoyant program. But when it comes to reading past lives, there's karma, right? There's something you started in that past life. There's karma attached. Fast forward to this lifetime, it's all about completing the karma, learning the lessons, so you don't have to keep repeating these patterns over and over and over again, right? Anyway, she's like, I'm so excited about having this baby. She can't wait. She's actually in a happy marriage. So, compared to that past life where she didn't look happy, she was waiting for the husband to show up kind of thing. It all came from, there I was just not thinking, allowing for this energy to come through, allowing for these pictures to come through, right? And then I just, it's like a movie. I literally kind of see it like a movie in my mind's eye, and it just kind of plays out. Okay. Now that's the experience of when you're kind of looking at the energy through your third eye. Now the difference between, say, just imagining it was, it's not like I was intending to imagine seeing a woman sitting on a porch, on a rocking chair. Does that make sense? It's more like I was just allowing for the pictures to come through. Okay. Hey Bert, great to see you. Great to have you here. So yeah, that's key number 2 there. Okay, there's a fine line between seeing energy in your mind's eye and imagining it. Okay, one is more coming from a place of allowing. The other is coming more from a place of like you're intending to imagine what a pink elephant looks like, right? Versus like, oh, I just see this image of a pink elephant come through. It just came out of nowhere. Right? And one of the analogies I like to use, by the way, to help you illustrate this more, it's like sitting in the audience and you're watching a movie, right? You're not trying to make the characters come out and say stuff. You're literally just sitting there, allowing for the actors to come in, the action to play out on the movie. Okay? It's not like you're trying to make it happen. You're literally just being like a neutral observer, which is really important if you want to access your third eye. Okay. So if you're just joining, key number 1, don't think. It's not about thinking, right? Like Einstein said, it's more about accessing your intuitive mind and not your rational mind. Key number 2, there's a fine line between allowing for images to come into your mind's eye versus intentionally imagining things, right? And a lot of people, when they're first accessing their third eye, they're like, am I imagining this? Am I imagining this? Right? Well, if you're intending to imagine, then yeah, you're imagining it. But if you're just coming from more of a place of allowing, right, images to come through, then that's the difference, right? You're not thinking, you're just allowing. Now, key number 3, all right? Here's key number 3. Once you see the image, then you use your intuition to interpret the images, okay? So speaking of past life readings, last night was the first night of our clairvoyant training program group that started officially yesterday. And so it's funny because they weren't expecting to be reading in that first night, right? And there I was lecturing on how to read a past life, and one of the students actually showed up late. So we're like, hey, we're going to read you. The other 2 are going to go ahead and read you, right? And so, she literally just came in. So the students, they don't know each other, right? They literally just met. And so, again, just going through the technique of how to read, right, energy. They went through the process. And for one of the readers, one of the students, right, again, it's her first time really accessing her third eye. She's like, I see you in a cornfield, right? And again, you're not making it up. She was just literally allowing this image to come through. It's like, I see you in this cornfield and you're working, and it doesn't look like you're happy in this past life working in the field this way, right? And so she's allowing it to unfold a little more, unfold a little more. And she goes, you're wearing a ring, but the ring keeps falling off. The ring keeps falling off. And it looks like you're so busy working that you can't take care of finding the ring. It looks like you just have this kind of obligation to be working, and which makes you even more frustrated, right? Anyway, that's the whole thing about reading. Again, the whole thing about reading a past life is there's some karma from that past life. Fast forward into this lifetime, it's all about completing that karma or learning about why you do things, right? Because it's karmic patterns of stuff that you did in a past life, fast forwarding into this lifetime. Anyway, it was so funny because the student that was getting the reading, and again, she showed up kind of late. These people don't know each other. I go, hey, how was that reading? What did you think about it? And she was silent for a little bit. And I go, hello, are you there? And she goes, I'm speechless, totally speechless. I go, why is that? And she goes, it's because, in this lifetime, she keeps losing her wedding ring, right? She keeps losing it. And she gets really frustrated about that. And talking about just happiness in her life, et cetera, right? Finding her life's passion. So compared, when you look at her past life, this whole thing about the cornfield, she kept losing her ring, not exactly satisfied in that past life. Looking at the karma of this lifetime, just total validation, right? And so, what's that all about? Well, key number 3, once you see the image, right, then use your intuition to interpret. Well, have you heard the saying, a picture paints 1,000 words, right? So there she was working, looked really frustrated, kept losing her ring, couldn't stop to find it because she was busy working, right? So when it comes to interpreting the images you see, part of it, you just use your intuition. It's like, well, you look really frustrated because you look really busy, all right? And how that pertains to your lifetime, to your life this lifetime. It looks like the karma that you're here to complete is around finding something that is actually fulfilling for you, right? And so again, when the readee, with the person getting the reading, heard that message, she's like, oh my gosh, that's so spot on, right? So all of that to illustrate the 3 keys here. So the first key, it's not about thinking, okay? If you think, you're going to be thinking about it and using your rational mind to access your psychic gifts, I could already tell you you're going to go down the wrong path. It's not about thinking, okay? Really, just like Einstein said, it's all about accessing your intuitive mind. And how do you access your intuitive mind? Well, that goes to key number 2, that there's a fine line between just allowing for the pictures to come on in, which is a practice in itself, or you're like intentionally imagining it, right? So it's one thing to allow, like, oh, a pink elephant showed up in my mind's eye, versus like, I'm going to try to imagine what a pink elephant looks like. All right, so that's key number 2. And then key number 3, once you do get the image, right, part of the practice is then it's like, okay, what does this mean? And then you use your intuition, or you just allow for some kind of message to come on through about what those pictures mean. And already how they say a picture paints 1,000 words. So just describing the picture alone, oh, I saw you in a cornfield. Oh, I saw you holding a baby and you look really frustrated, right? Another just reading that's wanting to come through that I'll share with you. I remember reading this one other woman, and she was trying to access her spirit guides or something like that. So again, I was just in my good, like my psychic space, right? Being a neutral observer. And I remember seeing for her like this really, really bright white light. And I go, it looks like this white light is coming through, but it's not like a white that you would see from the sun. It looks like a non-physical, not even of this 3D realm. It looks like a very, very high spiritual vibration. And I go, it kind of just reminds me of the vibration of like an ascended master kind of energy. And then I kind of just let it unfold a little more. And then I started to see this light blue kind of come through from that high white vibration. And with that light blue, I was like, wow, that reminds me of Mary, like Mother Mary, right? And by the way, there's Mother Mary, the woman who was incarnated on this planet, but there's also Mother Mary, the Ascended Master Mary, right? And so that her energy was coming through. And again, I was just in my nice clairvoyant space, looking through my third eye, allowing for the pictures to come through. It's not like I was calling Mother Mary to come through. Does that make sense? It's just that's how it came through, right? And then it's so funny because the girl I was reading, she kind of did like that, right? I go, what's going on? She goes, I constantly communicate with Mother Mary all the time. That's so crazy that you see her energy coming through. I go, yeah, well, I'm just being as clear of a channel as I can, right? And so again, so to illustrate key number 3 there, once you see the image, you just let your intuition, use your intuition to interpret. So literally, I just saw this high white, saw this light blue come through, and intuitively, right, I'm like, that's Mother Mary energy. I don't know where Mother Mary energy came from. I don't know where that came from, but intuitively, it just came through. Okay. So anyway, I saw a couple comments come in here. Let me just read these before I continue here. Ruth, Sarah, good evening. Been awakened almost 2 years. At first so much, now it's slowed down, way down. Clairvoyance seemed to be my strongest, but I had more, I feel. Okay. Yeah, great. Okay, yeah, Taylor shared one of his visions, and yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere, right? And the thing with when you, I'm going to talk about this here in just a moment, right? Sometimes when you're activating your third eye and you're allowing for these images to come through, if you go on YouTube, there's a bunch of videos on like the dangers of activating your third eye. And I always laugh about that. And, there's nothing wrong with activating your third eye. It's more like, hey, what about using psychic protection, right? And, sometimes you will see some creepy things, right? You will see some weird being, but, it's when you can relate to all of that as just energy. It's just energy, okay? You want to be in the practice of grounding, helping the body stay safe, psychic protection, and then you could just be more neutral to whatever those images are, okay? So yeah, Taylor, sometimes some of the things you'll see, you're like, oh, okay, I don't know about all that, but yeah, after a while, you just relate to everything as just energy, okay? All right, so I see a couple more things. Bert saying, as an empath, I've had random things come through, and you're right, I wasn't really thinking about anything when it happened. Yeah. So, the thing is, when it comes to activating your third eye or accessing your psychic gifts in general, the question then becomes, how can you, rather than have it be a random experience, right? How can you access your psychic gifts more on demand and at will, rather than having them randomly come on in, right? So anyway, Bert, yeah, great point there. When they came in, you weren't thinking. Just like when 333 came in or 1111, those just came in randomly. You weren't thinking about it. All right, so same thing when you're getting these messages. Now the question becomes, how can you create, kind of like recreate that so you could access your psychic gifts more on demand and at will, right, rather than random. So let me talk about that now. So now that I covered the 3 keys, and again, just to summarize if you're just joining, key number 1 is not about thinking about it. Key number 2, it's more about allowing. And key number 3, you use your intuition, and same thing, just allow for whatever the message is to come through about what it is that you're seeing. And all the while, right, it's not about thinking. You're not thinking. So the next question is, okay, well, how, Joe, that's all well and good, but how, do you have any training, right? How do I activate my third eye? And, is there a guide? Is there anyone that can actually show me? And, someone in the group was like, I just need validation that what I'm seeing is actually what I'm supposed to see, or I'm going on the right track. And so let me talk about that now, okay? I have what's called the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Breakthrough Challenge. Okay. And I know for some people, you're already unlocked. It's more about, hey, how do I control this? How do I control my gifts? Well, let me tell you what I cover every single day. Every single day, you'll get new videos released. Okay. These are recorded videos. You can watch anywhere, anytime. And these are no more than 20 to 30 minutes per day of watching. And then in the evenings, I do a live Q&A, right? So you watch the videos throughout the day. In the evenings, I do a live Q&A. So if you have a question about anything that was covered, that's your chance. You have direct access to me during these videos. And I do these Q&As via Facebook Live, just like this, okay? And I do have already some students that are watching this as well who have already gone through the training. And so they're very familiar with this already. Day one, so it's a 6-day challenge, right? So day one is all about learning how to ground, okay? Day two is where you learn how to move foreign energies out. And where that's important is, think of your third eye as like a window, right? And if that window is all clouded over with foreign energies, imagine trying to look out through that window. It's going to be hard to see through, right? So what if you were to just clean that window, right? And then you don't have to strain so hard. It's like, oh, what's on the other side of that window, right? So day two is all about clearing that window, moving foreign energies out. Then day three, once you learn how to move these foreign energies out, then it's all about psychic protection, learning how to protect your psychic space, all right? So you learn about your psychic boundaries, you learn about your aura, and you learn how to protect that, so with psychic protection. Then once you have that down, day four is all about activating your third eye, which is what this whole lecture was all about, right? Third eye activation day. And again, part of the reason why I'm doing this lecture is that a lot of the students are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were going to learn about activating the third eye. Well, surprise, surprise. All right, so that's what happens on day four. You learn how to activate your third eye. And I lead you through a very specific and yet special way that, many students that, once they get to this point, by day four, activating the third eye is like I said, you're not even thinking about it anymore. Then by day five, your third eye is activating. You're seeing pictures, colors, shapes, beings. Who knows what can come through. By day five, it's all about how to read and interpret that energy. Okay. And this is huge for people because a lot of you, like in the group, you're like, I saw 333. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Well, day five is all about answering that question. What does it mean? And you learn how to tap into your own intuition to get the meaning of what these symbols are, these colors, or whatever it is that you're seeing in your third eye. So then by day six, you have these tools, right? So to access your third eye, by day six, you get to practice, right? And I just saw Melanie just say, keep practicing. Keeping in practice seems to be of importance. Yeah, it's all about practicing. So guess what? On Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific, I do these live readings here for the group, for this public group. And the students join with me, right? So A, you get to watch me in action. And B, when you feel comfortable, a lot of times the students are all nervous, right? But again, you went through the whole 5 days so that you can start to read with me. And then if you feel inclined, you could type out your reading. It's like, hey, I saw a yellow rose for you, and it means this, and it means, and I try to do a variety of different questions on practice day, day 6. All right. And then I throw in a bonus day. By day 7, it's all about, okay, so you taught me how to activate my third eye. What's next? What can I do next? Well, day 7 is where I talk about advanced clairvoyance and what you could do with that advanced clairvoyance, and talking about how to read a past life, or how to read your Akashic records, or how to interpret images from the astral plane, right? Chakras, your aura, and how to do healings. All that is a function of what you can do clairvoyantly. All right, so that's by day 7 is where I cover that. Anyway, if you're interested in any of that, if any of that calls to you, if anything from this lecture tonight called to you about activating your third eye, learning how to read energy, learning how to see higher spiritual truths, learning how to psychic protection, right? Learning how to protect your space psychically so that you could be in a place of not thinking about it. You could just literally be in that place of allowing yourself to activate your third eye. Well, if you're interested in that, the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Challenge, the next group starts this Sunday. Okay. And on Sunday, we start off with pre-training. Day one is where you actually get the first set of actual training videos on activating your sixth sense. And so let me see, I'm just looking at my notes. Tomorrow night, early bird pricing ends tomorrow night. And so just so you know, to get in, it's only $37. Okay, only $37. So if that interests you, go ahead and sign up for the next training. I'm putting the link in here right now. And so the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Challenge, you could click on that link, sign up. And again, the next group starts, early bird pricing, only $37, ends tomorrow night. And then enrollment itself closes midnight on Saturday. All right. So I'm going to be releasing the new student accounts by this weekend. So if you want to get in on this next group and learn how to activate your third eye and learn psychic protection over the next 6 days following, this group is for you. Okay. And I know a lot of people are like scared and like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm not confident about it. This is what the whole point of the 6th day is all about. Each day I teach you a new tool so that you can build up your confidence and so that you can, start to activate your third eye and learn how to read energy. Okay. So anyway, again, early bird pricing, $37, ends tomorrow night. So if you're interested in this, if it costs you at all, hey, go by all means, sign up and let's get you in there. And I'd love to work with you. Okay. Anyway, to sum up tonight's lecture, today was all about the 3 keys to activating your psychic third eye, which I cover in the Unlock Your Sixth Sense Breakthrough Challenge. The first key is, it's not about thinking, right? It really is not about thinking. Once you could get your thinking mind out of the way, which you learn in the six-day challenge, then you could just start to allow, right? You start to allow. And then once you start allowing, then you could start for messages to come through about what it is that you're seeing. And, it really is a magical experience when you can activate your third eye and activate and allow and awaken your sixth sense abilities, your psychic abilities more on demand at will rather than having them be this random experience. And on top of that, just learning the psychic protection. Okay, all that's huge. It's just huge. So again, if you're interested in learning more about that, I'd love for you to sign up for the next Unlock Your Sixth Sense Challenge, which begins Sunday evening. If that costs you even in the slightest, by all means, sign up. And if you do have any questions at all about it, feel free to PM me and I'm happy to answer any questions. All right, with that, thank you for being here. Thanks for listening to me talk about activating your third eye. I will check you all out in the group. If you have any questions or want to reach out to me, go ahead and feel free to PM me directly. All right. Many blessings to you. Bye now, and thanks for joining. All right. Blessings to you.